Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about the design to developer handoff. I want to talk about some naming conventions that you'll see within our tools like Figma or Adobe XD, maybe even Sketch, versus what actually is within code and how we can ease the burden of confusion by naming things properly for our developers to pick up quickly and move fast with. Let's get started. I have a Figma file here that I wanted to touch on. Let's start looking at our design panel. Anytime you're building something within Figma, you're going to be shown this. Now here I have some variables that are associated to things, but that's not the point. What I really wanted to call out here is actually those names, what they are within Figma, and what they are within Dev. Let's focus on our auto layout section. Auto layout is commonly used within a designer's workflow, and what that actually is Flexbox. So when a developer is working, they'll use something called Flexbox or set display to flex, and that will align their items based on what we do within design. Now, I'm just giving some very brief touch points, that things that you're probably very familiar with that you just didn't think about. Another thing is in design or within Figma, this is called corner radius, but within development, this is actually called border radius, which brings us to the bottom half of this. What Figma calls stroke and fill are actually called background color and border within development. That's where the border radius comes in development. You won't see like corner radius, you'll see border radius. You won't see fill, you'll see background color, as well as our effects. In Figma, they're called drop shadows, inner shadows, and layer blurs, but within development, they're called box shadows for our drop shadows, and then there's an inset property on that box shadow for an inner shadow, and then for a layer blur, it's actually called filter blur. When we talk of padding versus margins, this is really important to know when you're talking to your developers. If you're looking at a button, the padding is within the button. From the outside of this text area to the inside of the button frame, this is called padding. Anything outside this button is actually called your margin. So just being aware of that, so when you're describing something to your developer, you can have that conversation intelligently. And again, this is just a very high level piece of information for you to go run off and go look at these things. You can do that within dev mode when you're building something. So if you have this button, you can see this side panel. You can go Shift D, and that will open up dev mode. In here, you'll see exactly what we talked about. It's also in any browser. I believe with Safari, you have to turn on developer settings, but if you're in Chrome, you can right click on anything and press inspect, and you should be able to see this information there as well. If you're building components for developers and you want to build something that causes less confusion and allows your developers to work faster, we can start by doing something so simple as naming our components, variables, tokens, to what a developer would expect to see as they're working. So that's it for today. I just wanted to do a brief touch point on the differences between the two, and thank you so much for watching.